Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy SAG Glitch, aka SAG. Today I'm bringing you a little bit of a discussion, a little bit of hanging out with SAG, a little bit of not really story time. It's more of an open discussion, and it's as to why I love Halloween. Um, if you guys are new here, welcome. If you guys are returning, you already know what it is. But there's two things in life that have been constant for me: gaming and Halloween. So first off, we're going to talk about a little bit of sharing the love for Halloween and why it's important to me, what I like about it, what my favorite things are, and then we're going to just kind of digress from there. So with that, if you notice, your boy came to play. It's not my own shirt, but shout out the Shirt Punch. I was actually last year that I got this. It's kind of like it's a long sleeve T-shirt, but it's made in the old school Christmas time. And this is just to tell you as to why it's the most wonderful time of the year. Yeah, that's right. There ain't no fat man in no red suit coming here. It ain't no holly jolly Christmas. It's holly jolly Halloween. How you doing today? It's October. It's time for fall. It's time for that round of the year. But let's take a second to actually enjoy Halloween. And Halloween plays a very, very big part in my heart and my interest. Let's explain a little bit about it and why it's so important to me. So growing up, I come from a very small town in North Carolina. And growing up, um, I was an only child. I had very select friends. I wasn't one of those people that had thousands of friends. I had very few, but they were quality friends. Growing up, you had to learn your hobbies and interests, and they helped you throughout. Especially when you're in a small town, you're an only child to parents who are necessarily old, but older compared to your friends. Even though I had friends, I had to be able to relax and make time and interest myself in things that, catch my eye when they're not around. So growing up, I was always into sports. My dad had me into something, whether it's baseball, football, wrestling, karate, all that good stuff. When I was at home and I was after that stuff, I gravitated towards horror. And for some reason, I'm not sure why, but it just clicked with me. It was a feeling of thrills that you don't usually experience in a normal day process. Think about it. You can, in a normal day, depending on how your day is, you enjoy happiness, you enjoy sadness, you enjoy boredom, anxiousness, however you are. But most people, in all actuality, do not experience the thrill and the scares of horror. For some reason, that ability of anxiousness and tension leading up into a payoff just connected with me. What usually happens is your endorphins are kicking up high because of your anxiousness and the tension building. That when it hits, that just ultimate reprise of relief hits you, and it kind of gives you a feeling of endorphins that are there artificially, but they're still there. When I was younger, and this is a true story, my mom will tell it to this day. She tells it to everybody. She tells me about the time that I was 3 years old. And again, I have memories throughout my life, but this is not one of them I remember to this day. My mom tells me that I was 3 years old, and I was sitting on the couch, and we were watching the movie Silver Bullet, which is a adaptation of a Stephen King novella about a werewolf who's, spoiler alert, the preacher of the town is the werewolf, and Corey Haim, and this is like in the 90s, late 80s, and Corey Haim was in a wheelchair, and he took down the Reverend. All right, it's a great movie. I suggest everybody at least once a year watch it. It's on Hulu or Netflix, one of the two, or even Amazon Prime. But it's worth a watch if you guys love those horror movies, whether it's the A-list horror movies or the B-list horror movies. I love them all, from A to B to Z. I love them all. Some can get a little out there, but I love them all. Even from a young age, even from an age that I can't remember, I loved horror movies. When he was changing into a werewolf, she put her hand over my face to cover my eyes, and I literally peeled back through to peek through. So it's like, little SAG over here, like, no, mommy, I want to look. But in all seriousness, no, I love that movie, and even today I rewatch it and I have the same feelings to it. that I had originally seen it and remembering it. So about the movies, and again, like I just said, I enjoy a good horror movie. I enjoy a good B movie that's not necessarily meant to like just be blowing off the chain, but to give you like some kind of thing. Now, in all aspects, like you can go through my Netflix, you can go through Amazon Prime, you can go through Hulu, and every single streaming device or streaming application that I use, there's some sort of horror in it. And even in YouTube, I would say about, if I'm watching it 7 days a week, I would say at least 2 of those days in bed, I'm just sitting there scrolling through. Somehow I get into these horror shorts and these scary little short films that people make, and I enjoy watching them because the fact of the matter to me is you can create a story, you can create from a story that's already out there, you can create a way to explore that and your own creativity. It's awesome. And that's literally what YouTube's made for, is exploring creativity. If you like my stuff, if you like their stuff, if you like this stuff, watch what you like. If you don't like me, if you don't like someone, don't watch their videos. That's the biggest thing that I can tell you guys. Let's talk about favorite horror movies, and I have two that I really stick with. Out of all the horror movies, you got the slasher genre, you have the zombie genre, you have vampire genre, werewolf genre, you have the monsters, the slashers, and paranormal stuff. So if you guys believe in ghosts, let's take a second to explore a couple movies that I truly, truly enjoy. When talking about it, when talking to people, I usually take two movies that I talk about that I love the most. And the first movie is represented right here for you, is the Halloween franchise. Although the Halloween franchise kind of like takes a dip in the timeline, reverses some timelines, Rob Zombie comes in somewhere and makes his own timeline. Forget all the crazy timelines. Forget everything that you might or might not know. Fact of the matter, the original was Laurie Strode, who was played by Jamie Lee Curtis, against Michael Myers. And the fact that Donald Pleasant, and again, no one really takes a seat to that, but Donald Pleasance, who was the actor who played the Doctor, created a emotional roller coaster when it came to the story between the time that Michael was picked up for killing his sister to the time that he escaped Haddonfield Institution. But the fact is that he was coming after someone, and again, if you follow the timeline, originally it was thought to be a sister. Now it's saying that it was just a random person. But he was he was targeting Laurie Strode, and he went through every single detail to get through everybody that was in his way. And the fact is that they didn't overthink this movie. They literally had it as the boogeyman, as someone scary, who targeted this person, but couldn't just come straight after because he didn't want to get caught. There was nothing so to the point where it's just over the top that they had to create some storyline that didn't make sense. It was literally Michael Myers being the cat, Laurie Strode being the mouse, and if he's ever going to find her. The second movie I like to look at as one of my all-time favorites is the 2004 remake of Dawn of the Dead. And I love zombies. I love playing zombie video games. I love watching movies about them. I love just exploring the genre as a whole. But the 2004 remake did a great job of exploring what would happen if a zombie apocalypse actually became, real, and what it is that people would do in case it does, and how they would react to one another, and not just each other, but how they would react to the situation that has involved itself. And I think it does a great job with the storytelling process. I think it does a great job with the zombies. I think it does just a great job overall as being a high thrill horror movie. You can't really ask for much better than stuff like that. And we go from movies now to video games. And you guys know me again. Horror and video games are like my two biggest things on this channel. I enjoy a good scary game, and in fact, I took a little bit of time. I've been lazy because I've been, doing stuff with my job, and I've been focusing on that. But I'm going to do a better job of bringing you guys that playthrough that I'm doing right now of Man from Medan. And right now, I think I'm about to play the third part of the chapter. of the game. The fact of the matter is, I love horror games, and my favorite horror game of all time that kicked off my love for not only video games but my love for horror video games is the original director's cut of Resident Evil. And I think that came out in 1996 or 97, one of the two. To the fact where I'm 7 or 8 years old, I'm playing this game and I'm like, what the is this? And it starts to say, hey, I gotta start strategizing what's going on. I gotta implement the story. And what's crazy to me is I haven't played every single title of Resident Evil, but I have played many of the titles. I played the original director's cut, played Code Veronica, I played Resident Evil 4, beat it, played Resident Evil 5, beat the Resident Evil 5 was, yeah. So I, beat that one. Resident Evil 6, I played the Leon story and Chris's story, beat it. And now 7, came out a couple years ago, and I, beat that. I have a playthrough up. I have so much love for that. And Resident Evil holds a very, very big place in my heart because it increased my love of video games, it increased my love of horror, and it merged the two at a very well pace that got me to say, hey, there's more than just beat 'em ups. There's more than just sports games. There's something that you can play that has a story to it that's fun and exciting. It's off a couple of other games that I do enjoy that are horror based. I haven't played Outlast, but I did enjoy watching a couple people do the playthrough online on YouTube. Dead Space. Holy moly, what a horror ride! To kind of think about it like in terms of horror and what it does with the movies. You have basically a rock, basically a artifact that creates people to go insane and kind of possess them. The fact of the matter is that people become these crazy things that just are out of nightmares. The fact that you're this one person that was created to go fix a ship, but then you're thrusted into this. I mean, the fact is that they have 3 3 Dead Space games. Also, Dead Rising it's more of a comedy, kind of comedic action-paced horror game. You have Left 4 Dead, that's co-op, that's really awesome. I kind of stick with the more kind of scarier, more realistic ones. I mean, realistic to a point. That's just that's another aspect. You got movies, you got TV shows, you got games now, and going back to games. Now I told you guys I love the Resident Evil story. I literally they came out with novels, like a set of novels. There were 7 books. And I ordered them in college, and I read every single book on my off time. And guys, if you know me, I'm a very mathematically inclined brain. I'm very algebraic. Fact is that you sat me down, you got me to sit down and read a story because I love the plot so much. Tells you something about the genre, tells you something about the series. Talking about a little bit about horror as a whole. I listen to podcasts, and some of them are sports related, some of them video games related, some of them are just scary stories. And those I enjoy the most because I for some reason, I have the ability to immerse myself into the story like I'm living it. I'm right there. What's crazy to me is that people have that ability to write and to explain something and to get everyone involved to where not only are they happy that they were there to enjoy the story, but you got our hearts pumping to the fact that we don't normally feel this every day. And that takes talent. And regardless if I like stuff or not, I can respect someone that does a well done job. So I enjoy listening to those podcasts. I'll enjoy listening to stories on YouTube, the people that narrate them. They do a fantastic job doing their job. And I actually incorporate in my job at this time of the year. I don't celebrate Halloween because you don't want to disrespect someone who doesn't believe in that stuff or doesn't celebrate that kind of stuff. So I tell them it's not a celebration of Halloween. What it is a celebration of the month of October, and I try to bring in scary stories in the classroom when I'm able to. Now, if my students don't get their lesson done, they don't get a scary story. Simple as that. But today alone, and this is what, Tuesday, the October 15th. I incorporated the creepypasta of the smile dog. The way I do it, I turn out all my lights, I have a blackout curtain, and the kids love it. The students love it, and do it because it allows the students to make a connection, and sometimes it even gets them even more involved, knowing that I would go out of my way to tell them something fun, tell them something different, something they might not experience in a regular class. And come to find out, I'm not the only one that does it. And at the end of the year, or sorry, at the end of the month, when it comes around Halloween time, I save my story, my personal story, to tell in the classroom. And no, I'm not going to do that to you guys. I'm not going to give you that little present today. Maybe some other time, maybe later down the road, we might get there. If not, if we never do, okay, well, tough. I hope you guys are enjoying this Halloween. Did I mention that I got 4 people to say, hey, SAG, nice shirt? Now, they didn't say my name because they didn't know me, but they were just staring at me. I'm like, what's she looking at? And they go, yo, nice shirt. I like, I couldn't see it at first, but yo, that's crazy. And the fact of the matter is that I appreciate when people compliment me, whether it's on my fashion, whether it's on the haircut, not saying that it's, but if you check my Twitter, But no, I listen. I enjoy you guys hanging out here with me. I enjoy you guys listening. For you guys that are still here, hey, you guys are a real MVP. I know, SAG. Come on, man. But no, in all honesty, I appreciate you guys checking out these videos. It means a lot, but at the same time, understand that everything in my life comes first before this, and that this is something that I'm able to do because I'm in a place that not a lot of people are in, right? And sometimes I get behind on this, but understand that the stuff that I do instead of this is more important than this. And I just want to kind of put that out there because I have a lot of people that know me personally asking me about this stuff, or at least look at the videos. So, but I do appreciate you guys hanging around. I hope you guys turn this comment session below into a forum. Really, I want to know what your favorite scary movie is. I want to know what your favorite scary game is. I want to know your favorite scary story. I want to know your favorite thing about Halloween and what it is that you plan on being this year if you dress up. Your boy, we don't do the dress up thing anymore. I'm a little too old for it, but for you guys that still do, even if you're in college or if you're in high school and you're going out to a party or something like that, enjoy it. Enjoy it while you can, because you're not always going to get there. And when you have kids, or if you have kids and you go out with them, or your little like nephews, nieces, godchildren, whatever it is, dress up then too. They enjoy it more than maybe you do. But the fact of the matter is, you're showing it that you relate to them. You're showing it that you want to be part of them, and you're showing it that you have love for them and for this season. So with that being said, I'm gonna sign out. I hope you guys have a great day. Hope you guys have a great night. Hope you guys have a great Halloween. And on top of it all, make sure you stay spooky. Cause it's the most wonderful time of the